I guess the life-changing thing would be Ron Perry called me, chairperson of Columbia Records. Shout out, Ron. Love you, buddy. We've got this song that we signed called Old Town Road. It's at 92. The artist is
92 on the
92
100?
on the Hot 100, excuse me. And, you know, the artist is a social media genius. You just wait till you see what's going to happen with this record. We've got a feature with Billy Ray Cyrus. He's never co-written before. I need it delivered by Saturday. This was on a Thursday.
Had he gone to other writers prior?
No, we were the only call. They were sitting in the office, and shout out Wes. They were talking about who is a no-brainer. Who's going to get, this is one attempt. We get one shot at this. Billy's only going to show up for this once, and he insisted on being there. Jozzy wasn't feeling well. She didn't want to do it. I consider being a manager like sitting in the passenger seat. Jozzy's the driver. My job, if she's driving shitty, ain't to be like, oh man, you're such a good driver. It's to be like, hey, maybe you should like keep your eye on the road a little bit here and turn back. And maybe they'll be like, you know, go fuck yourself. But I usually get that call later, like, you know what? You said that thing. You know, I've been thinking about it. You know? And I told her, I said, listen, you know, I know your mom is a big fan of Billy Ray Cyrus. Like, at the very least, you can say that you worked with Billy Ray Cyrus. Let's go. Get to the...
Consummate manager right here.
Yes, we got to the studio. I was there. It was me, engineer, Jozzy, Tish, Billy's wife, Miley's, you know, mom, and Billy came in with his guitar. He was very nervous, but he knew that this was going to be he knew more than I knew that this was going to be a moment. I just did it off the strength. I had no idea where this was going. Didn't have enough time to think about where it was going. We got in. I like to give Jozzy likes to have me. I call her like the door monitor. She likes to bring me to the studio, and I'll like go for the door to like try and do an Irish goodbye. And she'll be like, where do you think you're going? No, you're my good luck charm. Don't leave. You're part of this. I was like, Jozzy, I'm going to go see if I can get some cookies or like something. Go out. I see Meek Mill. Start talking to Meek. I'm like, hi, I'm Jozzy's manager. Oh, I love Jozzy. How's she doing? She's great. Like, you know, if you want to come in, like, you know, she's just in, you know, SSL2. He's like, oh, who's she working with? Billy Ray Cyrus. He's like, get the fuck out of here. I got to come see this. He's like, I'm going to go finish recording. I'm going to come see you. 5 minutes goes by. I go back in the studio. Song is done. Song is done. I'll slide you the demo too that she has.
Oh,
so you
yeah,
can play
please,
it. Yeah,
please.
absolutely. It was done. And then she cut him on it, which took a while. It was a little painful. She DMs it to Lil Nas. Lil Nas lost his mind, just brain exploding emojis. I sent it back after, you know, the engineer put a really good mix on it, spent some time on it, tweaking it. Everybody was happy. And, you know, we knew that she had done her part. And then literally 2 weeks later, when they released the song with the remix, it goes to number one, goes from whatever it was before, 92 to number one immediately. Not only immediately, it broke every streaming consumption record ever. And it just stayed there all summer. Best summer of my life by far. Every week it was number one, and stayed there for 19 weeks, shattered the record. It's the number one selling song of all time. It was like getting a Purple Heart. Nobody could take that from us. Give a fuck what they think about the song, anything, you know. And Jozzy always said, you know, it was meant for us, Andy. You know, it was meant for me to come out to LA and have this fine, you know, she didn't write the song, she helped with the song, but it changed the game for both of us. No one could take that. So
Jozzy had dark moments too. She's obviously like insanely talented, and she'd been around, you know, different people, Timberland, Missy, that type of thing. And that earth-shattering moment eluded her until that.
Well, same way that it eluded me. And that's why I think those are from, you know, having the opportunity to build a business now on the strength of, you know, a core client. That seems to happen a lot of times. It just takes one. It takes one.
That's what Jay-Z said. Jay-Z said you only got to be right once.
It takes one. It takes one hit record, one client, one moment, you know, to completely change the conversation, you know. And even talking about this for the last like 45 minutes, those series of moments that were inflection points that brought me to where I am now, as self-assured and confident as I am now, when I had lost that a little while. You know, it got
rightfully so.
It got bad, but I didn't. You know,
you fucking fell down 100 times. You know,
100%. But you heal up, you skin your knee, you get the fuck back up. The hardest part at the beginning of this story was that a lot of it, I was my own worst enemy. That's where the self-doubt came from.
Go further into that.
I did it to myself by making dumb mistakes, by trying to move too quick, by feeling entitled because I thought my passion was enough and energy was enough to insert myself in the game in a more substantive, meaningful way than anybody wanted to insert me.
I remember you giving me a call, and you were at a dinner with, I think it was like Billy Ray and like Miley Cyrus, where you're like, you looked around and you had a moment of a surreal feeling where you're like, whoa, like this is fucking crazy. And then you stopped yourself mid-thought and you're like, no, like this is where I'm supposed to be and this is where we're supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Can you give the people that moment?
I remember one time The Weeknd was having a party. I'm going to come back to that, but I'll preface it with this. And Jozzy and I said to ourselves, and she loves to go out and get lit and go to parties. And she was like, no, not for us. We don't belong there yet. We want to get the invite for this and be there.
Wow.
So when we had the invite for this, and it was really about the work that we had all collectively put in together, and we'd put in a small piece of a much bigger pie, but we belonged at that fucking table. I belonged there. Jozzy sure as hell belonged there. It was great. And that's how you...
But you caught yourself.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, I used to not catch myself, if that's kind of what you're getting
That's
at.
what I'm trying to say.
I might have survivor's remorse or whatever you call it, where it's like, no, like, I don't deserve to be here, you know, whatever. No.
Or I'm lucky.
I'm lucky.
You know?
I got lucky. Hell no, I didn't get lucky. All the mistakes I'd made, all of the right choices I made led me to that moment. And in that moment, I got to appreciate it for what it is and be very present. And by being present, I was able to celebrate in real time what was happening around me and happening around the world in a lot of ways. The record was everywhere.